Welcome to this week's edition of Sun News at Noon. I'm Stockton Myers.
And I'm Reagan Morris. Thanks for tuning in.
Are you ready for this upcoming fall semester and the first as Utah Tech University? Registration for the 2022 fall semester opens on Monday for seniors and will be open for all students by March 31st. Students are encouraged to meet with their advisors for course recommendations, academic guidance, and for access to an early registration incentive. Registration for the upcoming semester can be completed on your MyDixie account.
A new statue has found its home on DSU's campus. A larger-than-life bronze statue of a bison was installed on the southwest corner of the Cox Performing Arts Center earlier this month. The new addition was made by artist Douglas Van Howard and donated by the Safari Club International Foundation. The statue is similar to bison statues located in St. George, but this one is 50% larger. This location previously held a controversial statue depicting a Confederate soldier reaching down to help a fallen comrade during battle in the Civil War. DSU removed the statue in 2012 as a solution to a 2-year political battle. The spot has sat empty until now. Vice President of Marketing and Communication Jordan Sharp explains the decision. When we rebranded, it was our hope to find a positive representation of the trailblazing and rebel spirit. This is a great opportunity to provide an alternative which still goes along with that trailblazing pioneer spirit. Sharp says the spot has remained empty because they had not found anything that worthily replaced the Confederate soldier statue. The new statue symbolizes pioneers and what DSU embodies.
DSU is celebrating Diversity Week on campus. Starting on Monday, there will be events and activities to highlight diversity and inclusion. This year features survivor Jan Broberg from Netflix's Abducted in Plain Sight. There will also be a taste around the world, lei-making activity, and so much more. For a full list of events and details, visit @dsu.misa on Instagram.
The U.S. House passed Bill 2116, prohibiting hair discrimination in employment and education. It's called the Crown Act, which stands for Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair. The bill specifically protects hairstyles such as locks, twists, braids, bantu knots, and hair texture in general. This bill is now being passed on and evaluated by the U.S. Senate.
Daylight savings time could become permanent, and we might only have to fall back and spring forward one more time. The Sunshine Protection Act was unanimously approved by the Senate. If passed by the House and signed in by President Joe Biden, daylight savings time will become permanent in the U.S. This would take effect starting in November of 2023. However, some experts are concerned due to the failed daylight savings experiment that took place in the 70s. The House has no immediate plans to take up the bill, and President Joe Biden has not yet stated his position on the Sunshine Protection Act.
Washington County is at its lowest warning level for COVID-19 since the beginning of the pandemic. Most of the country is now sitting at low risk, with the CDC advising you to wear a mask whenever you feel is necessary. Stay up to date on your vaccinations and get tested if you have symptoms. If you want to see your hometown's warning level of COVID-19 right now, scan the QR code and follow the instructions.
A new mental health and drug center is under construction in Hurricane. Governor Cox, along with state and law enforcement officials, broke ground at the construction site for the center on Friday, which seeks to help with the many intoxication and mental health calls that law enforcement have to deal with. Instead of putting these people in the county jail for 24 hours and then releasing them without any help to their condition, the center will provide the 24-hour stay as well as attempt to help the patient's immediate condition and make long-term plans for each person as well. The center is scheduled to open in about a year and is being built just off State Route 9 in Hurricane by the Purgatory Correctional Facility.
Utah's most popular vacation destination is in danger. That's right, Lake Powell's water level dropped to its lowest threshold since the Glen Canyon Dam was built in 1963. The shortage is due to an intense and ongoing drought in the southwestern United States. As of last week, Lake Powell measures at 3,525 feet above sea level. When Lake Powell is full, its surface sits about 3,700 feet above sea level. Lake Powell is the second largest human-made reservoir in the United States and is responsible for supplying water and hydroelectric power to more than 40 million people living across 7 western United States. Water levels are just 35 feet above the threshold for power generation. Officials say there's a good chance of the water dropping below the threshold within the next couple of years. Wow. I can't believe this is happening. I wonder how this will affect vacation in the Lake Powell area and how easily accessible it will be now.
It breaks my heart because I have plenty of memories with my dad and my brothers fishing for stripers in Lease Ferry, which is right by Lake Powell. And so I really hope that other people can continue to have that same experience that I did. Hopefully Lake Powell can live as long as it absolutely needs to.
For sure. Stay tuned. After the break, I'll be joined by Student Body President-elect Devin Dink Rice.
Hey there, Trailblazers. I hope you're enjoying these fine tunes on this afternoon. We're at the top of our hour and we have more music on the way, so stay tuned.
If the character is moving too fast for their stride,
Wait a second.
Do you know who I am?
Julia.
I just wanted to talk to you about what happened with those two girls in 8th grade.
Oh yeah?
That one day at PE when they were like yelling at me and then you just linked arms with me. I don't think you know how much like that helped me because like I finally like knew that I had somebody.
Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Today, I have the privilege of sitting down with Student Body President-elect Devin Dink Rice, the first Student Body President of Utah Tech University. How are you doing today?
Doing well.
Yeah, how are you feeling? Are you excited about this new position?
Honestly, I'm feeling all the emotions with it. Excited, nervous, scared, and just overall just ready.
As to be expected.
Yes.
Yeah. So exactly 2 weeks ago today, you found out that you were going to be the next Student Body President, and you had actually just landed in Hawaii, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a clip of from your story, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So let's show that.
In Hawaii, just barely got the results. Are you excited, Carson? Yeah? Thank you all so much for the support. Ready for new things, big things, and everything in between.
And behind you in that video is Carson Ray, who's the Vice President of Academics now.
Yeah.
Awesome. How was Hawaii?
It was nice. It was wild though, you know, knowing that everybody here knew the results about 3 hours before any of us did.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It was fun to have that experience landing the plane and just a whole flood of messages. I'm glad that they were positive and not negative.
There you go. All right, well, to get to know you a little better for our viewers, we're just going to ask you a couple questions and find out who Devin Dink Rice is.
Okay.
By the way, my first question is, where does Dink come from?
Okay, yeah, good question. And everybody's got that question, so it's good that we've got it on a public platform now. So it started in high school. It's obviously not the best nickname. It's a big brother nickname actually. So, and I've just owned it since high school. Came down here for a preview. The ambassadors do those overnight previews.
Right.
So I came down for that, just for a weekend with the boys, and ended up loving it. Within 5 minutes of being on campus, I just had the gut feeling that I needed to come here. So the funny thing though is when I came to that preview, they asked, "Do you have a nickname?" I'm like, I guess Dink. Not many people called me that in high school, but then once the ambassadors started it just spread.
It caught on.
Yeah, it stuck, and then here we are now. That's pretty much all
and
people
it's been
know
Dink
me
ever
by.
since. I know, I feel more natural saying Dink rather than Devin.
Right. Yep.
Interesting. So you are currently the Vice President of Student Life. So how will your role now translate into your role as Student Body President?
So I think one thing that I'm currently known for and experiencing is just the fun aspect of what we're doing in student life, and that's something that's definitely going to translate over into Student Body President. I'm a big advocate for a social life. I know it's completely different for every student on campus.
For sure.
But I'm a huge advocate for finding your place. We've got all the resources. The only issue is that we just need to find a way to have our resources reach every student. So better promotion, better accessibility to all these things. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I just love the social life, and that's going to translate big time.
I'm looking forward to that because I think a lot of students would agree with you and think that social life is a big aspect, and I think it's what makes Dixie State so different from other universities is we just have so many fun events, and you've taken head on that.
Yeah.
So that's incredible. How do you plan to help students adjust to and embrace the new school name?
Oh, this is a good question because I know it's kind of shaky on both ends with the new name.
Very controversial.
I feel like at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's where it is today. It's official. It's Utah Tech. Now it's on us to make the best out of it. So I feel really confident with this transition. There's a lot of reasons for it. So I know there's a benefit for every person, no matter how against the name you are. A big thing in that regard is just marketing. It's going to be so much easier to market our university now with the new name. So being a marketing major, I feel like I'm going to play a big role in that, in kind of explaining that to students and community.
Do you think it'll be a challenge overall?
Of course it will be. I've been involved heavily with the name change the past 2 years. I've flip-flopped from side to side with it a lot too. So I feel like I understand it really well, and arguably better than any student coming into this next year. So yeah, I'm very confident with how it's going to go. It is going to be a challenge, of course, but we're ready for it.
Good. What are the major qualities you possess that makes you qualified to be student body president?
Experience is definitely the biggest one. I'm in my 4th year currently. It'll be my 5th year of college.
So you're going to be a super senior
yes.
as student body president.
Yep, super senior.
All right.
I've been in the shoes of all sorts of students. I came here not involved at all. I was in the jazz band and symphonic band. That was my only involvement my first semester here. Then I became an ambassador, then the social events director during COVID, so all the dances that couldn't happen, bummer. And then currently the vice president of student life. And then with all those positions, I've done a whole bunch of other stuff that has taught me a lot about the internal and external things about the university. So overall, I just feel like I've got all the experience that's needed for a student body president, and especially the marketing experience that is going to be required with a new name for the university.
I like that. I think experience is huge, especially when kids are looking at their student body president and they want to know, what does he bring to the table? And experience is big because they want to know that you've been through it all.
Yeah.
Many students complain about our food options on campus. What are your thoughts on this issue, and what are your plans to improve campus dining?
Yes.
Probably heard a lot about this.
Right, yeah. It's probably the biggest complaint that I've heard over the past few years from students, and that's why it is one of the main platform points of my campaign and what I'll be tackling this next year. We've already started working on it. The easiest solution is also the most expensive solution, and that is to bring a new student center to campus. So what that looks like, because we've met with architects already, what that looks like currently is the new student center would be an extension of what we currently have. Because the building we have is good, it's just not enough. So one thing that we've learned in this process of finding a new student center is that every other university that has a strong culture around their student life, it all revolves around the food court. So
interesting.
To answer that question, it's building the new student center, bringing more options. The sad truth to that is that that can't happen in 1 year.
Yeah.
The building can't even be built in 1 year. So that's the long-term easy solution. As for this year, there's a lot of policies that dining services has that protects them from competition. And being a business brain, I'm a big believer that competition drives down prices and increases quality. So if we get rid of that policy that protects them in that way, we'll be able to have a better dining experience on campus.
For sure. So you're working on it.
Oh yeah, already in the works.
That's good. As you know, there's a lot of controversy involving the Holland building and who it is named after. Many students feel it should be renamed. What is your stance on this issue? Should the name be changed?
Yeah, so topics like this are obviously big when it comes to the student body president, and the student body president and executive council run into this issue all the time of, do I run with my personal views or do I run with the majority view? So today I'll just share with you my personal views, because at the end of the day it's going to be up to the executive council, the board of trustees, all those people. My personal views, it should stay. If a building is named after a person, it's because they've been a donor, or they've made a strong contribution to the university, and I feel like we need to honor and respect that. I have no problem with educating people, though. Feel free, educate as many people as we want, but no, let's leave the names on the buildings.
Okay, all right. My last question is, why, or I guess how do I phrase this? People get frustrated when they elect people into power and they don't do what they were going to say they were going to do. So how are you personally going to hold yourself accountable to do everything that you campaigned for and told students that you would do?
Yes, great question. So the fact of the matter is, a student body president serves for one school year, so not even an entire year. So I'll only be serving for one school year. There's only so much that can happen. All of the platform points that I preached in my whole campaign, all of them I can confidently start and get the ball rolling enough that they can be finished within a couple years. Very good chance that some of them, if not all of them, won't be fixed within this year. So that's just me being realistic. It's a long process. Things take a long time. I can promise that the groundwork is going to get done, but the end goal, it's a very good chance that it won't happen within this year, but the work is going to happen. So that's the honest answer for the students. That's what they can expect from me.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today, and congratulations also to your two VPs.
Yes.
We're hoping to have them on the show as well.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited and I'm looking forward to seeing you as the next student body president of Utah Tech University.
Hear, hear. Thank you.
Coming up next, I'm tossing it over to Stockton to see what is happening in the realm of entertainment.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue
No, you're fine.
sunshine,
I didn't hear.
sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. So if you're looking for me, then you better look down where there's tall palm trees and shopping sprees. Sip my ties and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me.
Let's talk about Ukraine, specifically how entertainment has been affected by the invasion in Ukraine. Putin has effectively legalized piracy in Russia to combat entertainment sanctions. Last show, I had mentioned how a lot of third-party publishers of video games and movies and entertainment have halted purchases in Russia to kind of halt the economic gain that Russia has. Well, now Russia seems to really want their entertainment bad, so this guy right here seems to think that piracy is okay to get around this issue. This is not the worst thing that the Russian president has done during the invasion. That would be attempting to ruin lives in Ukraine. Case in point, GSC Game Worlds, based in Kiev, are fighting for their lives while also trying to develop a high-quality game. On their Twitter and YouTube, they released this video where basically they said that they were working on a behind-the-scenes video to create a good view of how they make their cutscenes and basically all that sort of production. But then, while in the middle of filming it, they had the first invasion. And as you can see here, it's quite devastating. So, obviously, it had been sidelined. The development of Stalker 2, their game they were working on, had been sidelined, and they don't know when it's going to be back in order. So they released this statement on their website saying, "The people of Ukraine continue to defend their independence against the armed forces of Russia, of the Russian Federation. They started to bomb our cities without warning. Their soldiers intruded from north, east, and south. None of Ukraine's citizens wanted war. Few were ready for it. But we will stand for our freedom to the last. We are eternally grateful to our fans, friends, and colleagues who have already joined the common cause of stopping Russian aggression." It's really heartbreaking. So much so that in support of Ukraine, GSC Game Worlds have actually changed the spelling of Chernobyl. Chernobyl is usually spelled with C-H-E-R, but the Ukrainian spelling is as you see here, C-H-O-R. So it's just a little way that they're able to support their community as a whole. However, not all developers in Ukraine are taking the same approach as GSC. Northwest Ukrainian developer Sengi Games is committed to releasing their first game, Sengi Will Serpent Rogue, by the end of April. They released a tweet on Twitter. They released a post on Twitter saying the following: "Although the situation we're in is hard and unprecedented, we made a decision to stick to the original plan and launch our game, The Serpent Rogue, on April the 26th, as promised. The game is coming on time, and it is the most ambitious thing we've ever made. Stay tuned." Throughout all the conflict, the support from the public and celebrities alike for Ukraine have been astronomical. For example, Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher's fundraiser for Ukraine has raised over $35 million. President Zelensky even thanked the power couple over a video call. It continues with the Fortnite publisher Epic Games is also donating the next 2 weeks of proceeds from Fortnite towards Ukrainian relief and raised over $36 million in the first 24 hours of the fundraiser. It will be interesting to see just how much money the publisher will raise once the 2-week period ends. And for my pick of the week, I chose a bundle of games that is raising money for Ukraine. It's called the Humble Bundle Stand with Ukraine. $40 for 123 items ranging from books, music, programs, and 3D printable figures, but more importantly, games for PC. Now, I know that college students have just a normal laptop usually to do their assignments and all their usual college things. So I basically compiled a list of games that don't require a hard PC to play, basically. I can't talk about all of them right now, but any one of them that you see here, I highly recommend. The ones I would definitely recommend for college life is this one right here, Drawful 2. You use your smartphones as a controller with I believe it's up to 10 people. And it's basically just a wonderful game of Pictionary with a lot of lying and stuff like that. It's like Balderdash and Pictionary put together. And then the last one I'll talk about is this one right here, Broken Age, which is a point-and-click adventure game that is good for any age and any skill level. It's a very nice break for anything that you may be stressed about with college, and it's a really nice escape. 100% of the money goes to relief efforts in Ukraine. This bundle deal ends tomorrow, and if games aren't your thing, the bundle also has books and programs that might just suit your interests. After the break, we will check in with Max for what's happening with sports.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable, whether it's exploring nature or relaxing. Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable, whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard. Let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
Welcome back, Trailblazers. Let's take a look at DSU Athletics. Baseball has played a total of 9 games since we last talked about them, including 2 different series at home against WAC opponents. The Trailblazers won a 3-game series out in Sacramento against the Hornets, with winning the last 2 games after dropping the first. They were also able to handle New Mexico State at home as they took the first 2 games, but let the last one slip away by 1 point on Sunday. In between those 2 conference matchups, they split a 2-game series with the University of Nevada in Reno. The Trailblazers will go on the road this weekend to face a beatable Seattle U squad. Softball currently sits at 11-16 on the season and 2-1 in conference. They opened WAC play over the weekend as they won their series in the Old Hammer rivalry against UVU. The Lady Trailblazers have looked good overall at home, posting a 10-6 record in 16 tries at Carl Brooks Field. They've struggled a bit when they've been away from Greater Zion, as they are still looking for their first road win of the year. They will welcome the Lopes of Grand Canyon to St. George for games tomorrow and Saturday, in what should be a weekend of nice weather for us in the high 80s. Let's talk a little bit about March Madness. We're in the full swing of it. The Sweet 16 starts tonight. 8 games, 4 teams today. 8 teams, 4 games today. 8 teams, 4 games tomorrow. But there's a couple teams that we need to talk about specifically, right? And I want to bring Reagan in to kind of talk about this with me, because first, let's talk about the maize and blue, the Michigan men, if you will. Here, Michigan is a team that I didn't pick to win the first game, to win the first round in the field of 64, and they're right now in the Sweet 16, getting ready to play Villanova tonight. And what looks like will be a really good game, having lined up against Tennessee in their last game, an 11-3 game, where they not only won surprisingly, but won convincingly. And it's impressive to see them go as far as they're going to take it, and we'll find that out again tonight against Villanova.
I'm so excited, Max. You have no idea how excited I am for this game. I am a little nervous. Michigan has had a tough season, but they proved in their last game against Tennessee that they have what it takes. And I mean, March Madness, anything can happen. It's so special. I want to point out Hunter Dickinson and Eli Brooks, which are two key players on Michigan's team that I just love to watch and see every single night they play. And so I can't wait to see them tonight and see what they do with it. It's going to be fun.
Yes, it will be fun. And again, I'm very impressed with their team, having them moved on so far. Because again, I didn't pick them to beat Texas in the first game, and they've already won 2. So it's been impressive by your team, again, the maize and blue. But we cannot talk about this March Madness without mentioning the Peacocks. St. Peter's, the lowest seeded team left in the tournament, a 15 seed, has upset in their first 2 games, right? They beat Kentucky, who a lot of people had in the Final Four, beat them in overtime, and then won convincingly against Murray State. This little team from Jersey City is giving it to people, and it's impressive. Tomorrow night, they'll play Purdue, a big, tall, physical team, multiple NBA players, future NBA players on that squad. But just like with Kentucky, it'll be the same kind of story. Purdue's a 3 seed, Kentucky was a 2 seed, but still a lot of people are counting St. Peter's out. What do you see, Reagan, from St. Peter's, and I guess, do you have the confidence for them to go against Purdue and take that W to walk to the Elite Eight?
I don't know. I mean, well, first of all, I just want to say that the game against Murray State, at that point, they probably felt like it was a walk in the park since they already had beat Kentucky. But really, the pattern when we see these crazy upsets and we see these teams go way farther than we could ever imagine in the tournament, there's usually an end. They usually don't get as far as the Final Four. And so truthfully, I'm not so confident they're going to last much longer. They'll be lucky if they can last past Purdue, but I hope they do. I hope they beat Purdue. So I'm rooting for them. We always root for the underdogs, right?
Yes, we do always root for the underdogs. And again, I hope they can beat Purdue. I hope they can go as far as they can. I know a lot of people have jumped on their bandwagon as of late, and we'll see if it continues tomorrow. Also, you and I talked a little bit about the University of Miami versus Iowa State matchup that's going to happen here in the Sweet 16, because they both had upsets in the round of 32. So Iowa State is an 11 seed. The University of Miami is a 10 seed, and they're going to play one of them. A double-digit seed is going to get to the Elite Eight. So it's been fun. It's been impressive. Hopefully we can continue to watch and all have a good time with March Madness. Stockton, we haven't heard from you yet, my man. I know you're not that big into sports, but give us your take a little bit about, if you've watched March Madness, what you kind of feel about it, kind of what's your take in all this basketball talk here.
Yes, you.
Yes,
we want to know. What are your thoughts?
We want to hear your opinion. If you like the colors, if you like the mascots.
Yeah.
Like,
what mascot sounds coolest?
Tell us something.
Well, say the Wolverines.
Yeah, like Wolverine, Hugh Jackman. I mean, come on. I mean,
there you go.
Well, in Purdue, I had a pretty bad Purdue this morning, the 10 seeds. That's a lot of seeds. I mean, you mentioned 11 seeds. I mean, like, you gotta plant a good garden, you know. You know what? I like it when they I like it when they throw the ball and they throw that pigskin and they gets a deuce.
And they score the touchdown and hit the home run.
Yep.
Right?
Yes. Oh, thank you. Yes. You know what? Yeah.
He's on it. He's sticking with us, Max.
I'm glad I'm here.
We got him.
I feel so involved.
Well, Stockton, thank you for your opinion on that. You're the one I really wanted to hear from in this little segment about March Madness, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
I appreciate my expertise too. Yeah.
And that's it for this week's edition of Sun News at Noon.
We will see you here next week, same time, same place.
Have a great week, Trailblazers.